Well,
You have what you wanted. Your precious pen.
you seem annoyed, Mr. Holmes. I would even go so far as to say terribly worried.
Why should you care, Mr. Shielman? Let's talk about that poison.
I am not talking about you in the grip of natural emotions found in ordinary people who are confronted by the inexplicable. But as for Mr. Holmes, you are embarrassed, aren't you? Are you hiding something?
That is enough, Shielman.
You have kept your word. Therefore, I will keep mine. At this moment, the poison which so interests you isn't finished yet. Its maker is encountering great difficulties in attaining the desired results.
What is the end result?
Now, Mr. Holmes, the end result of any science, as Descartes once said, to become the master and owner of nature. Here we are talking about human nature, of course. And the creator's problem isn't so much the mixture as the durability of his creation.
What do you mean?
You see, this poison was made using rare but very volatile short-living compounds, which means that it is only possible to produce small quantities, which most importantly do not keep for a long time. Conceiving such a product in a laboratory especially built for the purpose could be achieved by any good chemist. But recopying this alchemy on another scale and keeping it ready at any moment, observing the particular conservation and storing conditions that a substance of this type requires, well, that would need a genius. I doubt if the creator of this mixture would be capable.
And you would be, of course.
Of course.
Luckily, you are going to spend the rest of your life in prison.
Luck is cyclical. It always comes around again, sooner or later. As far as I am concerned, I have the feeling that the cycle is going to be very short.
Holmes, it sounds to me as though this Shielman is implying that an escape attempt will be made.
Yes, we must go and warn the director.
It is out of the question that your bastard is named Patterson. Very well. You refuse to reveal the father to me? Well, then go and join him. I'm not stopping you.
I can't.
Director, you will have to postpone this small family reunion. We believe that a serious scheme is afoot. We must act without delay.
You're not thinking of...
Yes. Shielman's words leave no room for doubt. It seems that he is planning an escape attempt. We strongly advise you to search his cell.
Do you really believe that he's hiding something? Because I must make an official report and have a legitimate reason for doing a search.
Director, if this prison is still in operation, it is solely because of its reputation. Think of the consequences of an escape. It would be closed at once. And what post do you imagine would be offered to the person deemed responsible?
You're right. No one will escape from Westgate under Patterson. I will order an immediate search of Mr. Shielman's cell.
Chief Warden James reporting. The search of prisoner Hans Shielman's cell has been carried out. No suspicious items were found.
Thank you, Chief James. I feel better now. Without wishing to offend you, Mr. Holmes, I am glad that you were mistaken.
If I'm not mistaken, we've nothing more to do here. Shall we go, Holmes?
There's just one more thing for me to see, Watson.
What's that?
Mr. Holmes, sorry to interrupt you, but Miss Jenny wishes to see you alone. She's waiting for you in her office.
This, Watson.
How did you know?
Wait for me in the guard's room. I won't be long.
What an extraordinary gentleman that Sherlock Holmes is. You must have had lots of adventures with him.
Oh, yes, dozens.
Thought he was infallible, but there wasn't anything out of the way in the rat killer's cell. Could he have been mistaken?
I must admit...
Warden Brighton, in my office immediately. That's an order.
The director seems furious.
Yes, it must be important for him to order Brighton to leave his post.
I wouldn't want to be in his shoes.
Did you hear that?
Yes, that's not normal. I've never heard Flint shout like that.
But why doesn't O'Sullivan sound the alarm?
Follow me, Mackenzie. Let's go and have a look.
I'll come with you.
No, Dr. Watson, you're not allowed in. Wait for me here.
Very well.
Hey, but the grill is blocked, Chief.
We've been locked in. And that smoke, it's coming from below. O'Sullivan! Can you hear us?
Sully, are you alive? Answer us, Sully.
What's going on? Can I help you?
Sound the alarm in the guard's room. That should unblock the door. Be quick. O'Sullivan might be in danger.
It doesn't work.
Hey, what are you waiting for to sound the alarm, Doctor?
It's impossible. It's been damaged. I'll run and warn the director.
No, Doctor. Our priority is to save O'Sullivan. Go ahead through the visitors' corridor and see if he answers your call.
Very well.
Take the keys. They're in our room.
It doesn't...
Useless.
It doesn't work.
Useless! This door is blocked by the timer, but not the one below. Give me the keys, quickly! I've got the keys, Doctor. Thank you.
Follow me, Watson. We must repair the alarm.
Finally. There you are, Holmes.
I'm going to turn on the system. Watson, you...
I hope that this isn't dangerous. It works.
Perfect.
It's open. Let's go down.
Be careful. From what your colleague said, the flints are out.
We are trained for this sort of situation. And we're armed.
Come and help us, Watson.
Everything is back to normal. Thank you for your help, gentlemen.
It was a pleasure.
But where is O'Sullivan?
He's no longer here. He must have gone out through the visitor's entrance.
Yes, and he must be pleased to have gotten out of the basement.
Good. We must now check all the cells. It's the procedure in case of an alarm.
We'll come and help you.
You are evidently fond of wasting time, my dear fellow. Rejoin me at the reception when you've finished.
No, I've got nothing to do there. The grate is open! This is alarming. He's fine where he is, under the cover, still.
How can he sleep with all this noise?
I'll admit it's not normal. Perhaps the smoke has poisoned him. I had better take a look.
Be careful, Doctor. He is dangerous.
O'Sullivan!
It's impossible. He was with us only a few moments ago. Or else...
Or else it wasn't O'Sullivan.
My God, he's escaped! The rat killer has escaped!
Ah, Holmes, there you are. Hans has escaped. I fear that this inquiry is a bitter defeat for us.
Not at all, my dear fellow, quite the contrary. Follow me.
Why the devil have you brought me behind the prison?
We have an appointment, Watson. Look who is waiting for us.
Shielman! I'll go back and alert the guards.
Calm down. He's harmless.
But what is he doing here? Why hasn't he run away?
Because I asked him not to.
Are you telling me that you helped him to escape?
Quite so, as he wouldn't have been able to do so alone.
But how? And why? He's a dangerous madman. Holmes, you've made me an accomplice in this escape. You owe me some explanation.
And you will have them. But my priority for the moment is to remove our new friend to a safe place. I won't be long, but I must go alone. I'll rejoin you later. Just give me your next destination.
Very well. I suppose you know what you're doing.
How could you doubt it? Here, take the notes. They will help you when you write up the account of our visit to Westgate. So, where do I find you?
I think it would be better to go back to Baker Street.
All right, I will join you there.
Oh, so all that for nothing. Oh, they didn't find anything. Sherlock Holmes isn't a nice man, is he? I don't think I like him now.
Look what I found.
Don't do that. We don't like him, but you shouldn't hit him like that.
Give that back. It's only a doll.
This is Sherlock Holmes's attic. All this must have belonged to him. I want to know what happens next. Keep reading.
3 trails and 2 dead ends. The poor nephew is dead, but Baines has the bishop's murderers. The only one left is the rat killer. Have you questioned him?
No,
May I ask when you're going to do it?
when I have found him.
What? You're not trying to tell me that he's escaped again?
Yes, but this time it's not your fault, nor mine for that matter.
You've been using me, Holmes. I unwittingly aided one of the most dangerous criminals in the kingdom to escape. So please tell me why.
An explanation would be futile. It would only lead to further pointless questions.
But do you have even the slightest notion as to where he might be hiding?
Forget Hans Schielmann for the moment, Watson. Just concentrate on the fact that the bishop is on the chessboard.
In any case, the news has spread like wildfire. Look at the headlines. All the papers are talking about it. And the Globe Explorer, their editors must be jumping for joy.
Let the dogs bark with the pack, Watson.
But how could Farley be so well informed? Look, he also mentions our visit to the opium den, and in great detail. How did he know?
Let me see. Contrary to what you might think, Watson, I do not consider that all of our trails have led to dead ends. We're simply missing a common denominator, something that links them together. And our journalist's mystery informer might just be that missing link.
Should we attempt to uncover his identity?
It is essential that we do so. Let us examine the map. We must talk to Mr. Farley.
You have been a great help, dear Toby. I'll ask Mrs. Hudson to send you up some fine giblets.
Here we are at Farley's office. One cannot say that ethics play a very large role in his life. Look at the headlines pinned to the walls, like trophies of bad taste. Perhaps we will finally begin to understand the reasons for his persistence in tarnishing your reputation.
Perhaps.
Coffee. It's still hot.
Cigarettes, an ordinary, inexpensive brand.
A press card. Osmond Farley. It's his overcoat.
I cannot leave now. This is an electric box. Interesting.
What do you...
This door is locked. Is Farley afraid of being interrupted suddenly?
I must go out for a while, Miss Jean. I won't be long. Ask my appointments to wait, and send this message as a matter of urgency.
Mr. Osmond Farley, I presume?
Messrs. Holmes and Watson. What a surprise.
What is there so surprising about being visited by the targets of your slander?
I never slander. I inform.
You will have to accept the consequences of these articles, Mr. Farley.
Those words sound like a threat, Mr. Holmes.
I never threaten. I merely warn.
You don't frighten me, Mr. Holmes. I know all of your little secrets, and soon all of London will find out what really hides behind the facade of the impeccable detective. Thanks to my work, the whole world will discover the true Sherlock Holmes. Gentlemen, I don't wish you a good day.
What a bore! Even to the point of refusing to shake our hands.
Which means that we can avoid having to wash them. Did you notice the crumbs on his jacket? He had just finished eating, and his hands will be covered in grease, the same as his mouth.
Slovenly habits. That's quite disgusting, Holmes.
Do not be deceived, Watson. The workmanship in those tailor-made clothes indicate that he is a man who takes pride in his appearance. If Farley has left without brushing off his jacket or washing his hands, then it is because he spotted our approach and wished to avoid us at all costs.
But why?
We will find out by searching his office.
The secretary will stop you. Please reassure me, Holmes, you don't intend upon knocking her out?
Only if we exhaust every other viable alternative.
The secretary is occupied in sending a telegram via their electric telegraph. Farley asked that she should do so before he left.
We must find a way of interrupting the transmission, which will oblige her to go to the telegraph office in Kensington. It will take her some time to get there, and if we add on the time it takes to send the telegram and then return here, we should have ample time to search the office without being disturbed.
I suppose it's unnecessary to point out the illegality of this search?
I'm afraid so.
This hanger has a large iron hook. I can hear an electrical humming. The secretary is using the electricity supplied by this switch. Let us see if I can cause a short circuit.
Let us see if I can cause a short circuit. Let us see if I can cause a short circuit. Let us see if I can cause... Let us see if I can cause... Let us see if I can cause a... Let us see if... Let us see if I can cause a short circuit. Let us see if I can cause a short... There we are. It is simplicity itself.
Oh, that's just too bad.
Get out quickly, Watson. I'm going to hide here. The way is clear. Let's go, Watson. The key is still in the lock. A makeup case with a good brush. I can make out the marks, but I need something to bring them to light. A page of this notebook has been torn out. We can only see the title in shorthand and today's date. It's a message that the secretary must send urgently. I'm going to recopy it.
You can read shorthand? You never cease to amaze me. Were you a secretary before becoming the great
Perhaps. But no, a man must have his secrets. The ribbon is missing from this machine. I can make out the marks, but I need something to bring them to light. Here is Farley's secretary's telegram. Nothing special here. This book has fallen down from the shelf.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. My word, it's my stories about your investigations.
A real investigative reporter must have read them, my dear Watson. My adventures have fallen from this shelf. This paper only just escaped the flames.
But who is this note about? And who wrote it?
I will deal with it later. Someone closed the curtain, as though he wanted to maintain his privacy. This cabinet has a lot of drawers, each marked with a letter. There is surely a great deal of information in them.
But we can't open all of them.
A bunch of keys, a telephone, a technological marvel. A number was written next to it quite recently. A fine, educated hand.
Holmes, this number seems very familiar.
Yes, but let us dial it to be sure. Miss, get me 1313, please. It is Scotland Yard, of course. I'm beginning to understand.
Lucky you.
This armchair is out of place. Our man left his sandwich unfinished. Judging from all the notes on the board, our reporter is an assiduous and organized worker. A horrible story, and rather a strange one. Here's what is strange: an attack of collective insanity. A photograph of Prince Woodville. Farley is evidently also interested in this affair. This ashtray is worth examining. This ash comes from an ordinary, well-known brand of cigarette. This ash, the cigar end is still hot. This cigar is of a fine quality. It must be very expensive and difficult to obtain.
And it is not even finished. What a waste.
Farley was not alone when we arrived at his secretary's office.
You're thinking of the owner of the cigar.
Yes, the reporter smokes ordinary cigarettes. Can you smell the subtle scent of gingerbread? That is the characteristic odor of a Habano Clarissimo. Our mysterious visitor is a rich man, Watson. This category of Havanas is exorbitant, and I cannot imagine a cigar lover crushing out such a marvelous smoke before finishing it. Since we saw no one leaving the building, that must point to a secret exit somewhere.
How are we going to find it?
By retracing Farley's steps from the moment before we arrived. Look, this room is teeming with clues.
I understand.
I can see what has been written. Please write it down.
Very well, Holmes.
The secretary has just changed the typewriter ribbon. There are smudges of dark blue ink. I wonder which drawer the secretary was interested in. The DF drawer, of course, the one in the message that we deciphered from the secretary's desk blotter. Closed. The DF... I can't do that. I can't do... I can't... No. I can't... I can't... I can't... No, it is unnecessary. No. These blue stains come from an old typewriter ribbon. This card has been removed recently. This card has got grease marks on it. The reporter made them. Apparently he's making inquiries about Prince Woodville, too.
But where do you come into all this? Look, if we pull the curtain a little, we can see out into the street.
Farley consulted a card while he ate, which was given to him by his secretary just before she changed the ribbon on her typewriter. The reporter's greasy fingerprints are all over the card. When he went to file it away, he glanced automatically out of the window and saw us in the street.
He closed the filing cabinet and rushed to lock his office door. In his haste, he pushed his chair aside, but didn't think to return it to its place.
Precisely. He then hurried to tell his visitor of our arrival and showed him the way out. He then threw a piece of paper into the fireplace.
But we still don't know how the cigar-smoking visitor departed.
The answer lies in the direction the reporter took, Watson. At a certain moment, he would have been in a place where he had no logical reason to be. Look at our deduction board, and then let us go to the place where the reporter should not be. Perfect. Yes, Watson. In his haste, Farley dropped this book, taking it from the shelf.
Let's search this place.
There's a control box built into the filing cabinet. This box must open the secret door.
We don't know the combination, Holmes.
The answer is perhaps within the question, my dear fellow. There we are. It is simplicity itself. Let us go and look at this secret exit, Watson. Chance has smiled upon us, Watson. This hat was almost certainly abandoned by our mysterious visitor. Imagine the scene. In his hurry, the cigar man drops his top hat. The door closes. The hat is caught beneath it. Fearing above all that he should be discovered, he does not attempt to retrieve it, instead preferring to flee.
Who would take such action to avoid meeting us?
I cannot tell as yet, but it is certain that he carries the advantage of knowing us. We must discover his identity in order to redress the balance, and this hat will help us. Let us return to Baker Street.
Let's hope that an examination of this top hat will reveal to us the identity of its owner.
It will, you can be sure of that.
For once, I must insist that you allow me to work alone, Holmes.
As you wish. Take your time. I will examine this hat at my work table. I will examine this... This hat is of an exceptional quality. The man who owned it is wealthy. Slight scratch marks. Someone has changed the ribbon for another, more modern one, which shows a certain taste for current fashions. Not a mistress, but someone who pays attention to details. This man is married. Slight... This hat was made to measure by a well-known hatter located near the Old Bailey. His hair is greying, and judging by the odour, he puts camphor on it. He is probably in his early 50s. Slight scratch marks. The man wears glasses, and whenever he puts them on, he grazes the sides of his hat. This would suggest that he is educated and long-sighted rather than short-sighted. Heat marks, and a strong smell of tobacco. A cigar smoker, which confirms that this hat belongs to the reporter's visitor. I now have an excellent description of the man that I am looking for. The journalist's mysterious visitor is in a profession highly placed on the social scale. He is rich and married. He must have called Scotland Yard in Farley's presence. He frequents the law courts, from which he makes his purchases. This man is a judge. Let us look through my files to see if I can identify this judge. I have a memoir on the most influential judges. I have found my file. I have found... That's not right. Right. It is him, Judge Becket.
Have you discovered the top hat's secrets, Holmes?
Watson, this hat belongs to Sir Coots Becket, a judge of the court at the Palace of Justice in London.
A judge? Wait, did you say Sir Becket? That name rings a bell. Yes, that's it. What an extraordinary coincidence. Holmes, I was reading something about him in the Globe Explorer only this morning.
Decidedly, this Becket seems to have solid ties with the gutter press.
I bought it from a rascal who ran off without giving me my change. I'm sure that I've seen him before, and...
Spare me the details, Watson. Show me the article. So, Lady Becket is on holiday in Portsmouth. That means her husband is at home alone. Good. We shall pay a courtesy call, Watson. With a little luck, we shall leave with a few habanos clarissimo.
That you should interest a judge of the High Court isn't surprising. You have solved so many criminal affairs that there are 1,000 reasons why a magistrate should be interested in you. But why should this one feel the need to act in shadows?
It's true that it's surprising. Perhaps he simply wishes to avoid being seen in the company of this Farley fellow.
Mr. Kirby, our local postman, owes me a favour. He'll give me Becket's address. At this hour, he should still be at the post office. I'll go there, Holmes.
Good, Watson, but be quick about it. While you're gone, I'll make preparations for our visit.
Sir Coots Becket. I've got the address. We can go round after a nice cup of tea.
Don't get too comfortable, Watson. We're leaving immediately.
This is the front of Judge Becket's property. It's enormous. It looks very luxurious, Holmes. This man has conducted his career brilliantly. Who says that crime doesn't pay? It all depends upon for whom.
You never said a truer word, Watson. Now, let's try to find a way in.
What's that package you are carrying, Holmes? You haven't said a word about it all the way here.
Cakes for my old aunt.
Your old aunt? Stop pulling my leg, Holmes.
If you want a sensible answer, then you should ask a sensible question.
Very well. I'm going to ring the doorbell. That should be an appropriate task for someone like me.
No, leave it. I'll do it.
No reply. The house seems empty. Shall we wait, Holmes?
No. We shall enter discreetly. The judge's absence is a blessing. It means that we can investigate without being disturbed.
You're thinking of breaking into the judge's house? Have you gone mad, Holmes?
Don't worry, I shall be careful to remove any traces of our visit.
Listen to yourself, Holmes. You're talking like a common criminal.
This lock should be easy to pick. Let's see. I need a supple pin, Watson. Can you find me one?
Very well, Holmes.
Dr. Watson, how lovely to see you again. Do you remember me?
Of course, Miss Lucy. How could anyone forget so pretty a smile? You are looking quite lovely. I'm pleased to see that you are no longer living within that dreadful area of Whitechapel, even though the shadow of Jack no longer haunts it. It certainly wasn't a place for a young woman such as yourself. Ah, Lucy, you have no idea how heart-lifting it is to meet you here like this, particularly at this time. Tell me what you've been doing. You've become a florist.
Oh yes, Doctor, I am a florist. And I'm married now with beautiful little twin girls.
Congratulations, Lucy.
Enough about me. Can I help you with something? A pretty bouquet, perhaps?
Not at the moment, Lucy. I really need a supple metal stem. A plant prop should do.
Oh, I see. Is it to open a door or a window?
Ha-ha, Lucy, you are a surprising lady. Let's just say that the lock on the door to my flat gets stuck, and I should like to get in through the window.
In that case, a prop wouldn't work. Better to use a hair grip. It's the ideal tool for an honest man who wants to get into his house without going in through the door.
You are wonderful, Lucy.
Goodbye, Doctor.
That's not right. Stop. Good, we can pass. Here's the kitchen. There's enough room to feed a dozen people in here.
Yes, according to the newspaper, the judge's wife also feeds her pupils, in addition to teaching them.
Cooking oil. There's something interesting here. An oar lock. This isn't the place for it.
This classroom is magnificent. These children are very lucky.
This is a photo of the judge and his wife. This photograph was taken on Judge Becket's wedding day.
Can you hear that small metallic sound? This woman is admirable. As she was unable to have children of her own, she decided to care for hundreds of others. The blackboard shows the last lesson given to the children.
This screw. This screw is stuck. It is preventing the picture from turning.
A desire to cook.
Greek letters. Copy them down, dear fellow.
Very well, Holmes.
This overall belongs to the young James. Sweet papers fallen from a pupil's overall pocket. This plan is useless. A book about student organizations in the United States of America. There is some connection between cities and numbers on top of the box, but I lack the necessary information to obtain the solution. Perfect. Perfect. There we are. It is simplicity itself. A key. Perfect. An oarlock.
The door handle has been removed.
This plan is useless. This plan...
The door... The door... The door... The door... The...
Please take note, Watson.
We are making headway. How do we know what this means? There are naughty children in every school, from what I can see.
This plan. This room is undoubtedly the judge's office.
It would be better not to force this door, nor break a window.
You're right.
We are in the judge's private office, Holmes. What are you going to do? Turn everything upside down?
That is a distinct possibility. I will not leave until I have found what I am looking for.
Don't forget your cakes when we leave, Holmes.
Of course, Watson. A Habano Clarissimo cigar.
What do you...
An oarlock. It must be a souvenir. The young Becket and his friends, rowing. Becket, honorary member. This must be the symbol of an organization to which the judge belongs. Look at this symbol. It must surely be very important to Judge Becket. The judge used to row. A souvenir from the University of New York. That's the university where Judge Becket studied. Blind justice. From whence his ignorance? Amusing. This door is very solid.
The best thing to do is to carry on exploring this place, Holmes. This gentleman certainly likes oars, to the point of exhibiting them in his office.
Nothing but trophies. The judge must be very proud of them. Nothing of interest here. There is no point in visiting the upper floor.
What should we do?
This plan. One of the Greek books is open. Perhaps the subject of the last lesson.
It's a sweet box, probably for rewarding good pupils.
Everything points to someone who does not wish us to open this cabinet, which is a good enough reason for opening it. Well, the young James has stolen the handle to the sweet cupboard so that he can pilfer it whenever he likes. If we find his desk, we will find the handle.
It's a plan of the classroom.
Thanks to this plan, we will know which desk belongs to James. All right, let's open James's desk. Perfect.
It's a sweet box. What do you think, Holmes?
These all. I can make out... Watson, this really is the most ingenious system. It controls the opening mechanism.
Very ingenious. But do we need to enter? Judge Becket is very rich, and the room perhaps only holds valuable objects which he wishes to protect from thieves.
Doors are made to be opened, my dear fellow.
Well done, Holmes. Incredible. Masses and masses of files. Holmes, these files, these cards, these reports, they're all about you.
So it would seem.
Your whole career is mapped out here, investigation by investigation. Look, a detailed report about your work in Whitechapel during the Ripper affair. And there, your relationship with a certain A. Lupin. And here, the details of your methods and transcriptions of your conversations with the greatest violent criminals. My God, look at the titles of the files. Fraud, deception, corruption, forgery, murder. What does it all mean?
Quiet. Let me concentrate.
Concentrate? This judge has the reputation of being the most honest in the kingdom, and he has built an overwhelming pile of documents as high as Big Ben about you, and you talk of concentration? To open his chest to what end?
Quiet.
Holmes, answer me. What is the real reason for our being here? Did you know what we were going to find before we came here?
Evidently.
So that is the real reason behind this break-in. You're only interested in the contents of the chest. All the rest of it was nothing more than lies and manipulation.
The most important is the one in the chest, Watson. There, I have what I came for.
Show me the file, Holmes.
It is unnecessary, Watson.
It's a file about you, isn't it? Is it so compromising that you don't dare show it to me? You came here to steal the research about you carried out by Judge Becket, Holmes. It was the only thing that interested you.
We'll see about that later. We must put everything back in its place. No one must know that we've been here. Help me. Go and put the paddles back into their original position, and I'll deal with the rest.
But that's the plan of my flat. I mean, our flat. There is nothing interesting here. Before leaving...
Quick, Watson, we must get out of this house. Immediately.
What? But
Be quick, man, it's urgent.
because of you, we have to flee like common criminals, which it seems we have now become. I only hope that the game is worth the risk. Show me the file right now.
Let's find a cab as quickly as possible. We can't stay here.
Why are you in such a hurry? Wait! Look over there! Judge Becket! Yes, it's him. Let's go and talk to him.
It's too late.
Do as you wish, Holmes, but I need to hear an explanation about what was in that armoured room. I'm going.
No, stay here. That's an order.
Your giving orders changes nothing. I'm going to talk to Judge Becket, and you will not stop me.
Watson! Watson! Are you all right?
My God! What happened? Lucy! Oh, Lucy, poor girl. I must do something. Holmes, I need your help here.
Forgive me, Watson, but I'm afraid that I must leave now.
Leave? What the devil do you mean? Holmes, come back here! Holmes!
Holmes! Are you here? Show yourself! No one. Perhaps it is just as well. I don't know what my reaction to him would have been. How dreadful. That poor Miss Lucy hanging between life and death. Luckily, I was able to place her in good hands. But how the devil did Holmes know that a bomb was about to go off? And what's more, he seems to have taken advantage of the tragedy. No more Judge Becket, no more compromising documents, no more proof. There is nothing at all. And this is how my dear friend and colleague treats his client's letters. The paper Holmes used to wrap that mysterious package that he left at the judge's house just a few minutes before the explosion. Aha! Toby, who knows where Holmes is. Kurtz's pipe. So Holmes took it with him. I wonder if he would have fired at those fiends in the opium den. A few days ago, such doubts would never have crossed my mind, but today I find myself asking if he could have killed in cold blood. How dreadful! A fountain pen, just like the rat killers. Today, that dangerous maniac is free. And what's more, it is Holmes's fault. That inquiry at Westgate was a total failure. No, I don't want to go. Locked. These events have shattered my nerves. I should sleep for a few hours, or at least I should try. The harpoon that was used to kill Black Peter. A horrible murder.
Doctor! There you are. I was poisoned.
By who?
Ah, you know him very well. Such a clever man. A brilliant mind, but so evil. He has hurt so many of us.
Who are you talking about? Who?
So hot. Flames. The heat is unbearable. Walter, I beg you. Where is he, the devil? One day he will have to answer to a higher power. Oh, I need air. I need water. Ease my pain.
Who did this to you?
Dr. Watson!
Is that Lucy? Lucy, you are wounded.
I can't find my children, Doctor. Find them for me. But I beg you, keep them away from Mr. Holmes.
Lucy, no. Why do you say that? Let me help you.
You are so kind. It is too late for me, but you can still save yourself.
Holmes, I know you are in there. Holmes, open this door immediately.
I think that I would rather not.
Tell me the truth, Holmes. I need to know. You have no right to keep the truth from me. Tell me.
I am sorry, Watson.
Open this door, or I will break it down.
Do what you like. The door is not locked.
What are you doing? No, Holmes! No, it is impossible. What's going on?
Police!
Yes,
Open!
just one moment, I'm coming.
Dr. Watson, is Mr. Holmes here?
Inspector Baines, what?
Is he here or not?
No, I do not believe so.
Open the door, quickly. You're going to have to come with me, Doctor. We have a lot of questions to ask you about your relationship with Sherlock Holmes, and also regarding your movements early yesterday evening.
It's empty, Inspector.
Get dressed. We're leaving in 2 minutes.
Yes, I'm coming. I'll do all I can to help you. I would also like to find the answers to some of my own questions.
Sergeant, I'd like you to stay here with some of your men and search the place from top to bottom. If there is one clue here that will lead me to him, then I want you to find it. Doctor, you must understand that I am sorry about this situation, but if, as we believe, Holmes is a murderer, I won't hesitate to arrest him.
What did you say? A murderer?
You heard me, Doctor. The Bishop's murderers informed us that they were following orders from Sherlock Holmes.
Baines and his men have ransacked the place during my interrogation at Scotland Yard. I would never have imagined that I should be put through such an ordeal. I have always fought on the side of justice, but to be interrogated for hours like a common criminal, having to proclaim my innocence over and over again. Baines is convinced that Holmes is guilty, but who can blame him? Everything seems to point to him. I had thought that the worst was behind me, but here I am, as a suspected accomplice. All I need to do is to find Holmes, and when I find him, I'll decide. I'm going to search the flat. Perhaps Baines overlooked some clues. This disguise evidently belongs to Holmes. This disguise evident... Aha! This disguise... There's no... This Baines's men have more or less spared my bedroom. How kind of them. Here is where I write my stories about Holmes's cases, and I've got work to do. Ugh, what a smell! It reeks of tobacco. This disguise... This disguise... This is what Holmes was wearing yesterday. Holmes has left his tweed suit here, so he came back to change after he left me in front of Judge Becket's house, just after the explosion. Knowing that Scotland Yard is looking for him, he will likely have changed into one of his disguises. I just need to know which one. The best thing to do is proceed by elimination. I will use the wardrobe in the sitting room to reconstruct them. Holmes's tobacco. A hole. There must be a false bottom. I need something thin to prise it up. A photo of Irene Adler, the woman, according to Holmes. A letter addressed to Zachariah Dossett, the clergyman. It's a rent reminder. But why should Holmes be concerned about that? Another letter, this one for a certain Escott. Who could that be? This J. Escott must be a worker in the building. A letter addressed to a clerk of the court. Why in heaven's name has Holmes got that? This letter is addressed to a naval captain. My goodness! All these carefully hidden envelopes were addressed to Holmes under various identities. The addresses are therefore those of his hiding places. I cannot waste precious time by going to each of these addresses. I must refine my research. Holmes's Victoria Cross. This bust was used to fool Colonel Moran during the case of the empty house. I must collect all the pieces of Holmes's disc. There, the entire outfit. There, the entire outfit. Perfect. Now I know what Holmes looks like, and I know where to search for him. Let me take a look at the map. It would be better if I took some money. Here is where I... My money! Someone has emptied my wallet. I always keep a little money in it. The police can't have stolen it. It's impossible. Last night I was too tired to think, but now I have to face the truth. Holmes stole my money, like any common low-down scoundrel. I've got the address of Holmes's hideout, 6 Bucks Row. Well, here it is. It looks like a boarding house. I can't knock on all the doors. Holmes will hear me and escape. As I've the advantage of surprise, I'd better use it.
Oh, but I know you. You with the moustache. I met you back when Jack was cutting up all those girls around here. So you've come back to do some slumming.
Danny, you are no longer, you've given up the...
The game? Yes, my dear, I've given it up. Sorry, are you? I'm the manager of this boarding house now. I rent out rooms.
That is exactly why I am here. I'm looking for someone who...
He's not here.
You don't even know who I'm talking about.
Perhaps not, but he's not here anyway. You should understand that my tenants come here for peace and quiet. Quiet and discreet, my hotellies. Just like me. And I, Danny the Anvil, 11 times champion of male wrestling in Whitechapel, I guarantee their peace and quiet.
I really must insist. It's very important. Dear lady, I'm a biographer and also an artist. Your hotel is quite exceptional. I would like to put it on canvas and perhaps write about its history, which I'm sure must be fascinating.
If you're drunk, you better go and sober up somewhere else.
You are so very unique. I would like you to permit me to sketch your portrait.
My portrait? What for?
What for? But to immortalize the champion that you are, of course. All the great wrestlers are doing it these days, even Pudding, Nutcracker, Stomping Jenny.
Yeah, that's true. If those big cows can have theirs done, why not me?
The light here isn't good for artwork. Let me see some of your rooms. Perhaps we will find a better light, without disturbing your tenants, of course.
Don't worry about that. Most of them are out this time of day. And if they're not happy about it, I'll explain it to them gently, if you see what I mean.
I'm sure that they will understand at once.
Yeah, come on then.
Here would be perfect. A splendid place. I've just had a wonderful idea. Why don't I paint your portrait with you wearing your stage costume?
What?
Yes, I think it would be difficult for me to capture you correctly if you are dressed in your everyday clothes. They are too elegant.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna be great. And it will remind me of the old days. Oh, but I left my costume with a pawnbroker so that I could buy some of that lovely pear-smelling perfume.
Yes, I remember. Very well, off you go. While I'm waiting, I shall concentrate and soak up the atmosphere here.
All right, but don't touch anything. The bloke that rents this room isn't very easy going. You'll have enough time. The pawnbroker's shop isn't close by.
What a mess. That's Holmes all right. A few files, books about criminal cases. The books Holmes usually reads. A sheet of blotting paper. Tobacco, and a lot of it. Dirty water. Holmes must have washed something here. These crystal glasses are magnificent. A pipe, and judging by the smell, Holmes has used it recently. Analysing material. Liquid reagents, a large quantity of it, the same as at Baker Street. Holmes uses it for cleaning objects before he analyses them. A microscope. Apparently, Holmes is packing his suitcase. This suitcase is closed with handcuffs, which in turn are attached to the sofa. It's impossible. These handcuffs apparent. This pot is empty. A nice plant. I'm surprised that Holmes has taken care of it. I'm discovering new sides to his personality. Each of these scores bears a piece of music by a different composer. Holmes wanted to learn them all. There's Mozart, Beethoven, Paganini. A violin. Holmes often plays. It helps him to think. But it's out of tune and the sound is horrible. Holmes must have become annoyed with it. That happens quite often. Holmes must have smoked his pipe while reading the newspaper. As for the newspaper, it's only one page, with a curious article containing musical notes. This is what Holmes was reading without any doubt. Why? What do these notes mean? These crystal glasses might help me reproduce the notes in the newspaper. I know that music. It's Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. There, I found the score corresponding to Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. There is a strange stain on it. I must examine this stain more closely. This stain hides an inscription. It wasn't there by any accident. I need a reagent for cleaning the stain. Liquid reagents, a large quantity of it, the same as at Baker Street. This stain, I need a reagent. This a sheet of blotting paper. Good. The reagent is weaker now. earth? Holmes must have washed his hands here. Therefore, he must have been searching in the soil. In this flat. But where? A number. These handcuffs are something. There. A key. These handcuffs are excellent. Open. A train ticket for the London suburbs. For tonight. But if Holmes wishes to escape, surely he would travel further than that. Ah, there you are. I've got you.
Hey, what do you want?
That's enough. Take off that disguise.
What disguise?
I beg your pardon, young man.
In a moment, madam. Stop playing around. I've seen through you. You're going to have to give me some straight answers now.
I don't know who you are or what you want, but leave me alone now!
I think you are mistaken, young man.
Your ridiculous accent and your filthy clothes don't fool me, Holmes. And what on earth have you been eating? Your breath could kill an ox at 10 paces.
Right, that's it! You're going to get a thrashing of your life!
Calm down, Mr. Hooper. I think that this young man may have mistaken you for somebody else. He obviously does not have a good memory for faces.
On the contrary, madam, everything is crystal clear to me.
Really? Well, in that case, follow me, young man. I want to show you something.
What? But, madam, please, what are you...
Calm down, Watson. It's me.
Holmes?
You were almost brilliant, Watson, but once again your last step was too wide. Take comfort in the fact that your finding this address was admirable enough.
Why are you out here, if it's not for hiding from Scotland Yard? I demand an explanation.
You are in no position to demand anything.
I found you once, Holmes. You can be certain that if you give me the slip, I'll do it again, and next time I'll return with Baines and his men.
I have absolutely no intention of leaving.
Truly? So what does this train ticket mean? It's a ticket for this evening.
You managed to open my suitcase?
Enough of your lies, Holmes.
As a matter of fact, then yes, I am leaving tonight.
We are leaving tonight. I'm not going to let you vanish again.
Very well. Follow me, if you so wish. But I should warn you that there is little chance of us both coming back alive.
I won't leave you for a second, and I accept the risk. What an exhausting journey. I didn't even have time to collect my medical bag, and you haven't said a word for hours.
I have been thinking.
What is this place?
A mill.
I can see that, but what are we going to do here?
It'll be more interesting to see what you are going to do.
I won't bend to your will any more, Holmes. You have gone too far.
Shh, Watson, not so loud.
Why? Does somebody live here?
Yes, 3 men. Take out your revolver and try to keep them below while I search upstairs.
Are they dangerous?
They would kill us if they could. I'm going up there. Take care of them and make sure that they do not leave the ground floor.
Holmes, wait!
all, Tom?
The Times. It's a London newspaper. This chest is very heavy. Vodka. There's only a drop left. A large, strong paintbrush. A medicine cabinet. This axle links the wheel and the grindstone, which must be in the attic. One of the two cogs which ensure the connection between the wheel and the axle going to the attic is missing.
All the lamps are out of order. Petrol. A strong rope made of hemp. This chest is strange. Its decoration would indicate that its origin was in show business. Let's see. Accessories for a magic show. A magician's costume. Poor bird. Ideal for a magic trick. Nothing interesting. Magician's equipment. Nothing interesting. Here is a fine range of suits. Most of them are uniforms, but judging by their quality, I would say that they are disguises. I can call Watson if I need him. Dark traces. There should be a cog here. This millstone seems to be in good condition. I need something. The flour is spread out over the floor. The sack is empty. Very good. The flour is spread out over the floor. The sack is empty. Very good. A cog. An information card. Interesting. Safe conducts in case of crisis. Passports for high-ranking civil servants. None of them with names on them, obviously. Sacks of flour. These boards crack and these bags. These boards. Ah, I have broken my knife. No. No. What was Mr. Ferguson doing here? This mill is hardly the ideal place to hold magic shows. A master key, a useful item to help a magician play the king of escape. There should be a cog here. There should be... Dark traces. Someone was tied to the millstone's axle. They must have remained there for a long time. There should be a... Perfect.
I don't know what... One of the two cogs. A gear. Mechanical time switches. Rolls of fuse wire.
Totem?
This poor devil has lost his sight. The time. This poor man is mute.
Ничего не понимаю.
Ah, you're deaf. This man is seriously injured, and the wound is infected. Stop playing games. You were reading the Times. You understand me perfectly well.
So, you found us.
What do they want, Alieco?
Have you come to finish off your sordid work?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't even know why you're here, do you? You're just a pawn. A pawn who serves and obeys.
And you? Why are you here?
To escape from the enemies of freedom. My brothers and I are at war.
Against whom?
Against order, liberticides, the ruling classes, and those who exploit the people. Against the torturers responsible for our misfortunes. Against you and others like you.
I'm not at war against anyone.
Then why are you pointing your gun at us? Get out!
I cannot.
That's what I mean. You're nothing but a pawn. We've nothing more to say to you.
Don't move from here. I found the timer belonging to an explosive device. You are terrorists, aren't you?
The oppressive forces won't agree to civilized discussion. Propaganda by the deed is the only thing they hear.
You are murderers.
We are first and foremost free men. Freed from the moralistic constraints of a system that exploits everyone. Contrary to you, a poor little sheep, lost without his flock.
Alieco, tell him that we won't go back there.
My brother speaks with the wisdom of a free man. If you come here to kill us, do so, but we will never follow you. We were fooled once. There won't be a second time.
You are mistaken about me. I'm not a killer.
Then you are even more of a fool than I thought. You don't even know why you are here. I pity you. You are even blinder than me.
Are you responsible for blowing up a judge's house in London?
Justice and its representatives are the double dealers in this country. Judge Becket was one of the cogs.
Thank God that it wasn't.
We made the bomb, but we weren't the ones who put it into place. The one who ordered it placed it himself.
Who?
Я не могу больше терпеть такую боль.
Let us look at my brother's wounds. He's suffering.
No, don't move. I am a doctor. I'll do it. If only I had time to bring my medical bag.
Take this key. It opens the medicine cupboard. If you really are a doctor, you can help my brother.
Hydrogen peroxide. This will be useful. These bandages should halt the infection.
Thank you.
The person who ordered the bomb, who is he?
You are not part of his organization?
What organization?
The one he leads. The one that is responsible for the state we are in. The one that tortured us.
Why were you tortured?
So that we should keep quiet.
I understand. The head of a criminal organization ordered an explosive device which he then placed at Judge Becket's house. Once the attack came off, he had you tortured to ensure that you wouldn't talk.
Yes.
And why Judge Becket?
He was in possession of certain evidence against him.
But who, for the love of God?
Giving you his name would be signing our death warrant.
Watson seems to be in control of the situation. Excellent. Strange. This opening has been boarded up, but I'm sure that I didn't see it in the attic. I need something. I can't. I need. Impossible to open it. A tool shed. That could be useful. The blade of this spade seems very solid. The blade. That could be used as a... Perfect. Perfect. This wall does not seem to be very solid. There is an iron bar in this wall. Of course, a secret hiding place which contains a real arsenal. This chain is several yards long. New pistols. A Gatling machine gun, a real war weapon. Boxes of weapons. These bags are old and half empty. I can't do that. There, the rope is in place. There should be... Perfect. The second cog is missing. Perhaps it is somewhere on the ground floor.
Watson! Watson! Have you almost finished?
I need to get the millstone working again, but it seems there is a gear missing from the mechanism.
I look on the ground floor. Perhaps it's down there.
Yes, be quick. We shouldn't hang around here. All I can do now is wait for Watson.
Does either one of you know?
Well, I think there's one under the wood pile near the fireplace.
A gear? I must warn Holmes. There.
Thank you, Watson.
What was that noise?
Everything's all right. Let us see what this wall is hiding. A body. I knew it. The magician was walled up here. I have everything I need. Now it is time to destroy this place. Perfect.
What's that smell? I can smell oil.
Holmes, what are you doing up there?
Sherlock Holmes is here? No.
I'm not staying
Nor
here.
am I. Help me out of
Stop.
here.
Don't move.
You think you can stop us? Sherlock Holmes is a dangerous man. I'm not hanging around here waiting to be killed by him.
Don't be ridiculous. What are you talking about?
You don't know what he's capable of. Whatever are you doing, Doctor? Give me that gun. Where is Mr. Holmes? You had better remain here for the moment.
Am I under arrest?
No, Doctor, of course not.
Come in, Inspector.
My wife did enjoy reading that last story of yours in the Strand, Doctor. That was a proper adventure. Do you think you might write about this case someday? I'd like to see it.
Oh, well now, I don't know. But that is very gratifying, and I'm glad to hear that your wife enjoys my writing, Constable. My goodness, what on earth was that? Inspector Baines is dead.
The watermill is burning!
Holmes has managed to escape from the police. He manipulated me from start to finish, and to think that I played an indirect part in his crimes. Today's newspaper. Mrs. Hudson must have left it early this morning. Baines's murder has made the front page. The news has spread quickly. The poor man shot at point-blank range. He had faith in Holmes right to the end, and it cost him his life. Holmes's pipe. Broken. I didn't notice it the last time. We think that we know the people around us, those who are close to us, who are part of our everyday lives, parents, colleagues, companions, friends. Then something unexpected happens, and it tears away the blinkers which we have chosen to wear. And it's at that precise moment that we finally see the true nature of those who always mattered the most to us. But in Holmes's case, what could have pushed the man, whom I have always considered as honest and loyal, to sink to such barbaric crimes and cold-blooded murder? I don't have the answer. But one thing is certain. Up until today, I had a friend. A noise. But it's coming from the flat, I'm sure. Holmes! I knew you were in there! Holmes! Why did it have to come to this, Holmes? All those years of friendship and respect, of trust, everything that we went through together, and you deceived me all along, damn you. I wish that I had seen through all of your lies. But now, it is over. It is all over. After so many days of relentless investigations and sleepless nights, I returned to the Thames area, to the very place where the bishop's nephew had died. I only had one trail left to explore, one last desperate attempt to understand recent events. I descended into the putrid, dark, suffocating depths of the town, the sewers. The fresh breeze from the Thames gave way to the stale, dank air of the dark tunnels. A shadow moving through an underground labyrinth, tormented, wandering through this humid, oppressive purgatory. What I might find mattered little. The most important thing was to keep moving. A piece of rope that floats. If it's long enough, then it might be useful. It's very heavy. A body! Oh, it was weighed down by the anchor. If I can retrieve the anchor, I can use it as a grappling hook. There. I can see something. This butt is still dry. The bars are completely rusty. Oops, this bar has come away in my hands. The bar... This will be useful. An iron ring. An iron... This must be a service trapdoor used to release the water in the event of the sewers overflowing. That's of no use. That's of no... First try. Now let's pull the boat back here. The boat is tied up on the other bank. It's impossible to pull it back to me. It will be better not to jump. I really don't fancy falling into that foul mud. This must be... That's of no use. An eye. That's of... That's... Wire. This must... The trapdoor is horizontal and solidly fixed. An old scarf with blood on it. This bit of iron seems new and looks like a piece from ordinary machinery. Footprints. Someone has been here recently. Footprints. Someone has been here recently. I need something. I need some. Incredible! This grate is new and has a mechanical locking system. Open. Come on, John. Courage.
And here's another. See how you like that. Oh, and how does this feel? Don't think you like that.
am so very glad to see you, Watson.
Whee! Yes, he's alive! The bad guys had better watch out now. Grandpa's alive, and he is a good man. I knew that he was. Uh-oh, they're going to be sorry now. My grandpa ruled.
Yes, and my grandpa saved him. Read it.
You are alive. I don't know what to feel, relief or regret.
Watson, my friend.
You are not in a good state, Holmes.
Neither are you.
I suppose not. Can you walk?
Not without your help.
Why did you fake your own death? And who were those men?
I have to carry on with the investigation. Alone. John, I'm innocent. I'm not an accomplice of those men. Look at me. Do I look as though I could be their boss? Am I in a position to give such orders?
What a relief. Oh, my God, what a relief. But how...
Curare, hemlock, a few Indian plants, and sheep's blood to create the impression of death. A pathologist who owed me a favor for the death certificate.
Holmes, I was talking about this affair of...
I will explain everything, my friend, but we must leave here.
Yes, let's go back to Baker Street. I'll help you. Lean on me.
Home at last. I have missed this old room very much, Watson.
I put everything back in place after Baines went through it, but I didn't stay here. I couldn't face it.
Sit down, my friend. It is time for you to know the full details of this case. First of all, I must apologize for the distress that this has caused you, and for my behavior, which was, I know, quite abominable. I can only hope that by the end of this explanation you will understand that I behaved in such a way only to protect you, and that it caused me great pain to see your trust and confidence in me ebbing away.
From whom or what did you wish to protect me?
From Professor Moriarty.
Moriarty?
We should not have taken pity on him in that Swiss asylum. Do you remember, during the case of the Awakened? Our indulgence has cost us dear today.
He's responsible for the bishop's murder?
Yes, but that was only a small detail in his plan. A detail which he had to eliminate, as it compromised the whole of his diabolical project. The bishop had in his possession a document which he suspected as being one component of a larger puzzle. The ramifications were unknown to him, but he considered the matter as sufficiently important that he should consult me. The day before our macabre discovery, his nephew, who was in his confidence, brought to him an important element which helped him understand Moriarty's grand plan. It was at that moment that two men began to comprehend the seriousness of the situation. The bishop then decided to contact me.
Against his nephew's wishes? Was that what they argued about?
Yes. But Moriarty found out that the bishop knew of his projects, and he arranged for his murder. The murderers were also supposed to bring back the document that the nephew, young Hampford, found, but they were unable to open the safe.
What was the document?
Evidence of Prince Woodville's implication in the project.
The nephew must have retrieved it from the Royal Archives, where he worked. A link to the crown.
Yes. Moriarty wanted to overthrow Queen Victoria and place the prince on the throne of England.
But that's impossible. He would have needed to create an incredible coup d'etat.
Patience, Watson. First of all, Moriarty placed his pawns so they might begin to develop and encourage a tense atmosphere, ready to discredit the Queen and thereby raise Woodville's popularity.
And provoke a famine, so that the prince's soup kitchens could begin distributing food and he would appear as a hero.
Exactly. Moriarty quickly learned that I was making inquiries as to his plan, and, without wishing to sound vain, he knew that I was the only person capable of upsetting his schemes. He therefore set up a plan that I be discredited and thought of as a criminal.
And you played along with him?
Precisely. Allowing him to believe that he had succeeded was the best way of ensuring that his attention was no longer fixed on me.
Why didn't you say anything to Scotland Yard?
Did you not think it strange that Inspector Lestrade was away for weeks?
What? You mean to say that Baines
was working for Moriarty?
I understand. The bishop's murderers were in the hands of this traitor, and you were therefore at a dead end after our investigations at the opium den.
Yes, and Baines' authority allowed him access to the police archives. He changed and forged all the charges in the documents that you saw at Judge Becket's house. It was also he who substituted the Samoan necklace for a vulgar copy.
So that was why the judge went to Farley's, to obtain Baines's false information.
Precisely, but they each found themselves as instruments in Moriarty's strange orchestra. Judge Becket received entire books full of charges against me, and a journalist such as Farley will not hold back when he gets the chance to make the front page of all the newspapers in England. With regard to Farley, it was a mere case of professional misconduct.
And to think that I held you responsible for the explosion at the judge's house. What a relief! But why did Moriarty have him killed?
He was on the point of discovering that all the documents supplied by Farley, and therefore by Baines, were false, exactly the opposite to what our enemy was anticipating.
And where did the poison fit in all this?
Unfortunately, I do not possess all the information on this subject. The first time that we saw the effects of this substance on the body of the bishop, the poison was evidently only at an experimental stage. It was much too potent to do anything with.
Effectively. But in the second case, Kurtz, I didn't notice a great advance.
However, there was one. The poison was no longer fatal.
Yes, but the madness was still there. I should remind you that he attempted to devour his own dogs.
Correct, Watson, but it was not the second case, as you supposed. Remember the number of other incidences of madness, either collective or individual, relayed in the press in the days prior to it.
You mean to say?
That Moriarty tested this dangerous mixture on a large number of guinea pigs, apparently with little success, as all those people are now dead. I say apparently, because I do not have the least idea as to the result Moriarty was hoping for.
And that's where Hans comes in, isn't it?
Moriarty needed him to devise the substance's final formula.
And so you helped Hans to escape, so he might lead you to it.
Yes, but things did not go as I had planned. The Professor's men got their hands on him just after his escape.
And you lost his trail?
Yes, but I doubted that Moriarty would take Hans to his lair. To find him, I had only one trail, the bomb placed at the judge's house.
The trail of the 3 Russian brothers.
I found out about the mill by having the anarchists' trail followed by the children in my own secret police. Once again, their help was a determining factor. As regards knowing where to locate Moriarty's lair, I hoped to find the information in the attic of the Watermill. I got to it only just in time, before Baines turned up.
And you were stuck then, weren't you? Allowing him to arrest you would have meant certain death.
Regrettably. But Moriarty's plan worked in any case, as, after killing Baines, I became England's most wanted man for the murder of a Scotland Yard inspector.
And so you had to make sure that people forgot about you. Therefore, you orchestrated your own death, so that you might continue your investigation discreetly. Oh, that was a terrible time for me, Holmes.
I am sorry, my dear fellow.
Well, the important thing is that you are well and truly alive.
Yes, but it is not over yet. Moriarty will take action one day or another.
You were saying that you had found Moriarty's hideout. Where is it?
In an abandoned Funfair on the outskirts of London. It is quite certain that they are all there. Sheilman, the Prince, and of course, Moriarty.
If Moriarty puts the Prince on the throne, he'll have his hands on the reins of the kingdom. Her colonies, her diplomatic network, her riches, everything.
Yes, including the army, the war fleet, everything he needs to help him conquer Europe, and eventually, I suspect, the world.
Holmes, we have to be quick. His plan hasn't been put into action yet. Perhaps it's not too late.
Let us go immediately, Watson.
Do you really believe that Moriarty is in there behind that fence?
Something in the wind seems to suggest it, Watson.
I have a peculiar acid taste in my mouth, if that is what you mean, Holmes.
Well, yes. The air is tainted still with toxic fumes from the factory chimneys.
I believe that I read about this place. The Funfair was abandoned after the factory was built so close by. It was said that even the ice cream tasted bitter. Aren't you curious about the warehouse down there? There seems to be some strange activity taking place inside.
Strange and in keeping with Moriarty's activities. Let us go and see what they're up to. That could be used as a weapon in a necessity. With this cable car, we can get up onto the warehouse roof. Cutting pliers. They could be useful. The lever is stuck. There is a metal ladder stuck under the cable car. This chest is shut by a cord. I can't. A crank. The lever is stuck. This motor is from the cable car. There's a little petrol left, but not enough to start the motor. There's a little... empty. Let us hope it works. The crank is in place. I can't do that. There's a little petrol left. Vodka. There's a little at the bottom of these bottles.
Russian alcohol. Holmes, the three brothers.
This motor is from... Here's what we can use for fuel.
It works.
We are going to separate. I will find a way into the fair, and you must investigate the warehouse.
Very well, I'll do that.
There is no one on the roof. If the machine should get out of control, then just use the brake. There ought to be one.
I should hope so. Anyway, there's no other choice. And when I've found out what is going on down there, what should I do then?
Come and join me in the fairground. You can follow my route to get over the fence. Then you should find me easily enough. Good luck, my dear fellow.
Come on, John. Courage! No one seems to have noticed me. Now I must try to find out what is going on here. The bags contain rubble. They're tied up with good solid rope. I'll keep the rope. It's a miracle that this reservoir is standing. The feet are being eaten away by rust. I must find out what is going on inside this warehouse. An empty bottle. It's too dangerous to go any further. The window is too dirty to allow me to see inside. Carts from the soup kitchens. They appear to be queuing up. A large dry cloth. It's too dark inside this reservoir. So, it is inside these warehouses that Prince Woodville's canteens on wheels are filled up, and Hans is there to add his poison. That siren is a signal to open the doors and let out the carts of poisoned soup, destined for London. I wonder what Holmes is doing at this moment.
Here is a good place to try and get through. The way is clear. Good, I'm in. Now I must find Moriarty. A target from a firing range. A telephone line. Interesting. It comes from that large building. A telephone line. Interesting. The stand's owner must live here. The stand's accounts book. No, it is nothing interesting. The cover is... Let's look at the book's secret. Secret accounts. The stand's owner must do something other than manage a simple coconut shy, and there is a strange poem about animals. A target from a firing range. It depicts a lion. It's the stand's till. There is no money, but there is a wooden target. Let's see. A firing range for children. They have to throw leather balls at the figures of wild animals to knock them over. It's clear that there is a link between the poem in the secret accounts and the animal-shaped targets on the stand. It seems to me elementary. There is a hiding place here. Interesting. I am missing... I can't see a keyhole to open this hiding place. There we are. It is simplicity itself. The stand's slush fund. I wonder what happened to the owner that he should leave without his savings. If the guard sees me, he will sound the alarm. I must neutralize him, but discreetly. There are probably others, and a fight would attract their attention. It's open. This building was a menagerie. I'm in the service passage. Apparently it's a medicine chest. Closed. Oh, what a smell. There must have been wild animals here once. I pity the animals that were shut up in here. This cage has been blocked with planks. Old bandages. Old bandages. A key. A large syringe for animals of a considerable size, evidently. Everything points to that cage having been used to treat sick animals. Apparently it's a medicine. The only thing intact is this bottle of ether. If the guard sees me, he will sound the alarm. I must neutralize him, but discreetly. There are probably others, and a fight would attract their attention. There. That should interest our guard. Good. My little stratagem is in place. All I need to do is to wait for him to come back here. To shut him up, and quickly. Perfect. Thanks to the ether, this baller will sleep for a long time. Perfect. Another guard. This place is full of them. I cannot risk a confrontation. He'll see me coming, and I'll lose the element of surprise. I'll need to find a way to trap him. They must... Bearded lady. Be careful of those boxes. They are balanced, one on top of the other. It would take very little to knock them over. I wonder what... A rail system is fixed to the ceiling, and a hook is hanging from it. It must be used for moving heavy and bulky objects. The cage is held shut with this bar. This cage is still occupied. He's still alive, but he's barely human now. Moriarty must have tested his poison on this poor fellow. If he was freed, he would leap at the throat of the first person he saw. I could easily open the cage by raising the door. People must have been locked up in here. I suppose it was on this small stage that the monsters were presented to the public. The bearded lady kept the key to this exhibition. Interesting. Ah, here's something interesting. Hans's diary. What a dreadful diary. That Hans is the only real monster ever to have frequented this attraction. Chemistry material. Here's what I've been looking for. The crank is in place. The hook is above the cage of this poor wretch. I need something. There, the rope is in place. This way I can open the poor fellow's cage from the outside without taking any risks. The trap is in place. Now I only need to get the guard to go inside the freak show. The mermaid, Poseidon's daughter. This large, empty chemistry. The guard must have been warned. I need to get out of here. The guard is inside. I must close the door quickly. The cage. The guard is inside. I could easily... The cage is held shut. The guard is inside. The guard is... The cage is held shut with this bar. It only needs to be pulled away to open it. Closed. I must find a way of new... No, I can't do that. Well, I'll be leaving you. I'm sure you have a great many things to do. But what have we got here?
Ah, there you are, Holmes. Did you have any problems?
None, apart from a few small things. What have you found out about this warehouse?
Prince Woodville's soup is loaded and contaminated by hands.
And in the direction of Whitechapel. Watson, in a few hours, Moriarty will have at his disposal a formidable army, more powerful and more terrible than anything that has ever existed.
But what?
The soup is destined for a poverty-stricken, starving population who have been conditioned for months against the ruling powers. Moriarty won't have any trouble in sending thousands of raving mad people to ravage the city, sowing death and destruction. No force would be able to resist them, not the police, not even the army. A perfect army, knowing neither fear nor pity. A tidal wave of humanity which will cover London and will fall away again, leaving a city of desolation behind it.
What horror! And the chaos will only make Moriarty's coup d'etat even easier. But how will he guard himself against this bloodthirsty crowd?
The chaos will only last for the time he needs.
You mean to say
that these poor wretches will all die 48 hours after ingesting the soup, according to our good Dr. Shielman. So the victims will be joined by their executioners. An immense mass murder. What Moriarty would call clearing up after work, no doubt. Good. Have you found a way of stopping Hans's process?
Yes, I think so. If we can weaken the reservoir's feet with the explosives, for example, it will collapse and take the building down with it.
Good work.
What are you looking at?
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Never. These caravans must be inhabited. Look, there is smoke coming out of one of them.
An international anarchist's manifesto written in several languages. A metal plate. A wanted poster in Russian with the portraits of the three brothers on it. Closed. This stall is a washroom. I can see water basins inside. The door can be blocked from the outside. Interesting. Apparently, they are more interested in games than in cleanliness. Gallons of vodka.
This place must have been magnificent.
Shh. Watson, look. On the stage. Prince Woodville.
And it is with an immense pride that I take possession of the attributes of the crown, and swear in front of you to serve my people with... Gentlemen, who are you? I don't believe I know you.
Not as yet, Your Royal Highness, but I am overjoyed that you are familiar with the crowning ceremony.
Of course. A good king should know it.
That makes my duty so very much easier. Let me introduce myself. My name is Howard Sawbury, and I am in charge of the aforementioned protocol and the master of ceremonial events at Buckingham Palace.
Yes, and I'm Sir John Cannard, in charge of the peacocks in the royal gardens.
Congratulations, Sir John. Excellent imagination.
I am pleased to meet you, gentlemen, but what brings you here?
Do you mean to say that no one has informed you? Have you not been in the city? It is Queen Victoria, of course. She has been dethroned.
Really? So soon? According to my special advisor, Professor Moriarty, that should not take place until a few days from now.
The people have decided otherwise, sir, and now they're calling for their new sovereign, the benevolent, most understanding Prince Woodville.
Ah, gentlemen, you bring me great news. My good people have carried out their duty. I can finally take my rightful place, and happily before the bombs detonated. What is it now? I left orders not to be disturbed unless it is urgent.
It would be better to leave it for... I pity the people who must have risked their lives in this attraction. This ladder is only held back by a bolt. This ladder... There is no one here, and nothing very interesting.
What is it now?
It would be...
Holmes.
Effectively.
What is it?
It would be better to leave it for the moment. I cannot see...
What is it now?
It would be better to...
Look, Holmes, there appears to be some sort of control panel.
With an antenna, whatever its purpose might be. I can hear noises.
Holmes, our priority now is to blow up the tank in the factory to stop the distribution of the soup.
Of course, Watson. A telephone line. It goes to the haunted house. It seems that this window is more vulnerable than the main door.
I think it is too high. It's protected by bars with a closed window behind it. Look, Holmes, there appears...
With an... I can hear noises. We aren't alone.
Look, Holmes, the three Russian brothers.
With a coal stove and dynamite.
What should we do next, Holmes?
And then the dynamite would be very useful for blowing up the tank.
Good idea. But in order that we can get it, we'll have to get them out of there without their knowing we are here. The best thing to do is to carry on exploring this place, Holmes.
I could smoke them out. There is no one.
What is it now?
Actually, sir, we're here to warn you that you are in grave danger.
What do you mean?
Among your close advisors, I regret there are traitors who are already plotting against you. We have reliable information that these terrorists are part of an international anarchist network, and...
Ah, gentlemen, I know who you are talking about. I'm sure you mean the strange gentleman employed by Professor Moriarty. Asians or,
Russians, sir.
Whatever. These men must be stopped before their bombs explode.
Their bombs?
Yes, Sir John. Bombs placed all over London. I was not at all fond of the idea, but Professor Moriarty was quite adamant.
Do you know where these bombs are precisely?
Of course not. But I do know that those anarchists created their exploding devices here.
You must tell us everything that you know about the bombs, sir.
Why should I? You're not a pyrotechnist, are you? I must speak urgently with Professor Moriarty.
Sir, these men, the Russian anarchists, I heard them plotting against you. They want to blow up the theatre, and you with it.
That is madness. Why would they do that?
Tell us everything that you know about the bombs, for we must defuse the one that is hidden here.
I have not moved from here since I arrived. and no one apart from you has entered the theatre. You are lying, or you are their accomplices.
We most certainly are not.
That is enough. Leave me.
They are dangerous anarchists who have committed murderous acts in their own country against the Tsar's line.
That is impossible. The Professor assured me of their loyalty.
Moriarty does not require you any more, sir. He does not wish to give you the throne. He desires it for himself.
The devil.
Sir, we are going to help you. You must tell us where the bombs are planted. The people will never forget a sovereign who began his reign by saving his subjects from such atrocities.
I confess that I do not know where they are. But surely the Russian anarchists must know.
What do the bombs look like?
They appear very complicated. It is impossible to defuse them. I remember that they were put together here, in a wooden stall between two tents, next to the Russian caravans. They were the only ones who had a key, besides that traitor Moriarty, of course.
We're going to try to open that stall.
Wait, I demand an explanation. If everyone is plotting against me, then how do I know that you are not also party to the plot?
But we...
Bring me Professor Moriarty, Mr. Sawbury, without delay. Sir John will remain here with me.
I should be able to remove the prince without endangering Watson's life.
There you are, Sir John. To be a king,
I should be able to...
also to be prudent. And that is why I prefer to have you here as reserved. You are my guarantee.
I understand, sir. But in return, you must understand that this places me in a somewhat disagreeable situation.
Yes, I understand.
These tangled ropes are holding back the curtains.
I know.
He's not moving. He appears to have passed out.
But he could come around at any moment and sound the alarm.
Yes, before leaving the theatre, we must make certain that that does not happen.
Not so long ago, those words coming from you would have frozen my blood.
Rest assured, my friend, that Sherlock Holmes no longer exists.
Get rid of him now.
There is a label underneath this lever. Magician's Trap Door, middle of the stage, exactly where the prince is standing.
Hey, presto, it's magic. No more paranoid prince.
Well done, Holmes. Look, Holmes, Prince Woodville lost his ring during the fight. What were these dummies at the front of the stage used for?
The prince put them there to represent his public. There is an enormous diamond in the middle of this ring. I will give it to the police later.
This magician has a leather belt, very solid. There is a small bag attached to it. The illusionist's smoke powder. Abracadabra!
Magic powder and a metal plate. The revolutionaries won't resist it. Hide, Watson.
Water! Water!
The way is clear. Quick, let's shut the three brothers up in the washroom. Perfect.
I can hear the chinking of a bottle and talk in Russian. The three brothers are quietly getting drunk.
Perfect.
We must hurry, Holmes. Each chime tells us that the preparation of the poisoned soup is advancing.
I'm coming, Watson. I just need to unblock the chimney.
I can hear... This caravan is as disgusting as the first one.
This piece of art shows the hatred the anarchists feel towards Prince Woodville and everything he represents. A Russian-English dictionary.
Wire.
A small saw. We might need this. The dynamite shell. The names of the targets are written in Russian and are unreadable, in my case, that is, and apparently the brothers have made notes before every name. This list has something to do with the dictionary open on the table. Let's see. That's not right. That's not right. Let's see. If these bombs explode, then I believe that the realm will be plunged into one of the gravest crises in its history.
What are you going to do with this information, Holmes?
Hand it across to Inspector Lestrade.
How?
By telephoning him. The haunted house is connected to the telephone exchange. I'm going to try to slip in there discreetly.
Shall I accompany you?
You can help me to get in, but while I search for the telephone, you should collect as much information as you can about the bombs. The explosive experts at Scotland Yard will need it.
Understood.
This ladder is not too heavy. I can carry it. Closed. This ladder is not too heavy. I can carry it. The main entrance is not locked.
But why should they want...
I could saw through the bars, being careful to create a passage wide enough.
A good idea to use the diamond in the ring, Holmes.
I remind you of the monkey that stole the necklace, do I?
Well done, Holmes.
It's open. It's time for me to go into the beast's lair. Watson, I have no idea how long it will take me to locate the telephone. Use the time to try to get into the stand where the bombs were put together.
I'm on my way. I'll join you later. The place is calm, thanks to the supply of vodka in the washroom. Someone has marked Alexei. It must be the name of the Russian who lodges here. Locked, locked. The fire in this stove hasn't been put out, and now it's overheating. Lard! Were they really going to eat that? It's too... A large dry cloth. A key. Ah, there must be water here. There's no point in going there. There's no... That's of no use. That's of no use. Oh, it was time. Lard. Very pretty Russian dolls. A key. It's an ornament. A clock's hand. A bag of marbles. A Cyrillic letter with a strange symbol. A pretty spinning top. Whittling wooden objects seems to be a passion of one of the brothers. After building explosive devices, of course. The Russians' workshop. It's not very difficult after all. Another 3 carts full of poison soup. I must hurry. So it's here that the 3 anarchists made their bombs. But what a mess. Very well, I don't have any choice. If I want to understand how they work, I will have to build one. Here's the bench for assembling the explosive devices. There's something here. A plan for Russian bombs on a Japanese origami to blow up key places in England. Very cosmopolitan. That's of no use. That's of no That's of That's of That's of That's That's of That's of new. That's a crowbar. Locked. Sticks of dynamite. This box contains a jumble of radio receivers and boxes of copper wire. That's of no use. Apparently the radio is plugged in. That's of no use. Oops, the switch doesn't work. Don't panic, John. All you need to do is to find another way to defuse it. Oops, the switch doesn't... The best thing will be for me to go to the merry-go-round with my bomb.
I'll take the bomb with me. Oh, it's heavy.
This control panel doesn't work. Thanks to this radar, I can perhaps disconnect my bomb. I'll have to... I'll have to... I'll have to... Oh, my God. Now I understand. The antenna on the merry-go-round controls all the bombs that the Russian brothers made. The control panel. It works! Thanks to this, I think we can now disconnect all the bombs that have been spread around London. And mine, too. The control panel... We can branch a telephone here to call Lestrade. I must warn Holmes. There is nothing interesting here. No, I'm going to throw a marble at the window, which will attract Holmes's attention if he's there. Holmes isn't there. Let's try another window. I'm going to throw a marble at the window. Holmes isn't answering. It would be better to wait until he reaches the room where the telephone is.
This room is clean and well kept. What a contrast to the filth throughout the rest of the fair. A magnificent hunting rifle. This glass cabinet is locked, but I should be able to force the lock. I know this book. These paintings are extremely precious. A key. This chest is the same as Ferguson the magician's. I can't do that. A doll. It is new. It was bought recently. The Funfair's Act of Transfer, signed by that poor Ferguson. Moriarty didn't spare him anyway. This pin could be useful. A magnificent... No. That could be useful. That could be useful. No. This weapon is unusable. Here is everything to take care of this magnificent rifle. If I attach the rope here... Now I can go down. Wooden skeleton. This place has been fitted out as a command center and as living quarters for Moriarty.
Very well. Everything will be done as you wish. Above all, don't get impatient. I'll do the necessary.
Moriarty is here. Apparently he is very busy, and this is curious. He seems to be obeying his interlocutor. Moriarty is a hired hand? These shelves... These partitions are on pivots. It is rusty. It would be better. I can't do that. Another bell ringing in the warehouse. Ah, here is the famous telephone.
South London Exchange. What number do you want?
1313, Scotland Yard. Please hurry.
One moment. Lestrade here.
It's Sherlock Holmes.
Holmes, you're alive!
An excellent deduction, Lestrade. Now listen to me carefully. I'll get straight to the point. Moriarty has had 4 bombs placed around London, all of which could go off at any moment. You absolutely must find them and defuse them.
How can I believe what you say? You are being hunted by all the police in the kingdom.
They were looking for me, yes, but not any longer. You called off the search when my death was announced. Logically, why would I call you if I was not innocent? You must begin the search for those bombs straight away.
That's true enough. So where are the bombs?
Buckingham Palace, the House of Commons, the Bank of England, and as for the last one, it is entirely possible that you are sitting on it.
Scotland Yard?
Yes. Mobilize all your men and find them, but don't touch them without the defusing instructions.
Luckily, those locations are already under heavy police guard. What are the defusing instructions?
I don't have the details at present, but Watson is working on it. Stay near the telephone. I'll call you back the instant we find out. Curious. I can hear something tapping at regular intervals against the shutters. Watson?
I think I know what we must do in order to defuse the bombs, Holmes.
Good work, Watson.
Yes, well, no, not really, because the bomb I have with me,
Ah, I think I understand. How do you always manage to get yourself into these situations?
I didn't really have any choice in the matter.
It's primed, isn't it?
I'm afraid so, and I need you to stop it.
Perfect.
We need to go to the merry-go-round. Can you bring the telephone with you?
Well, I hope you know what you are doing.
You'll understand when you see the control panel installed under the merry-go-round. But please hurry. I really would like to get rid of this infernal device.
On the contrary, we must keep a careful hold of it. We are going to use it to destroy the warehouse where the soup is made. Step aside. I'm going to jump.
Quite simply, Holmes, the bombs all have a switch that allows them to be defused.
But it's not as simple as that, is it?
No, of course not. The bombs are also linked up with the merry-go-round's antenna by a radio frequency. And that wavelength is a security to stop the switches on the bombs from operating. Therefore, they must be disconnected from the merry-go-round.
But that's not all. If no one switches them off, they will explode anyway.
So that is why you need the telephone.
We need to call Lestrade to tell him when to turn off the switches.
Well done, Holmes. You have understood.
You are reversing the roles, Watson. Highly amusing.
Well, we can laugh about it later, but now we must hurry.
First of all, we must plug in the telephone. Perfect.
Hurry up, Holmes. Parliament has been switched off. The Bank of England has been switched off. Buckingham Scotland Yard has been switched off. That's it, Holmes. The bombs are disconnected.
You can use the switches now.
Let's hide, Holmes.
The bombs were due to explode 5 minutes ago. You, go and get the anarchists and take them to the warehouse. Stay there. I'm going to the warehouse to check on the soup.
Let's get out of here.
Holmes, where are we going?
Watson, what do you intend to do with that primed bomb at your feet?
My God, there's not much time left.
It would certainly be more useful elsewhere. Come, let us go, and let us try not to ruin the last chance we may have to save London. The guards have deserted the door. Now's our chance.
Holmes, I don't think that I told you about this siren.
No, but I can guess that it carries some connection with the poisoned soup.
Without going into too much detail, the next time that it sounds, the carts will leave to stock up Prince Woodville's network throughout London.
And it will be impossible to prevent the population from being poisoned.
We must hurry. Moriarty's men are looking for us. The soup production is nearly finished, and I am carrying a primed bomb in my hands.
Quick, jump into the cable car.
Uh-oh.
There they are! Hey! Hey!
They've seen us.
There they are, boss, in the cable car.
The esteemed Sherlock Holmes, back among the living. I am afraid that your resurrection can only be a temporary one at best.
Have we ever been in such a perilous situation before?
Very rarely, I must admit.
Well, gentlemen, what are you waiting for? Are you afraid, Holmes?
The bomb is on the point of exploding. Moriarty's men can't shoot us like rabbits or restart the cable car and catch us on the warehouse roof. We are trapped.
Moriarty wants us alive. That much is evident. So let us take advantage of the few minutes we have left.
Perfect. I understand, Holmes. Fine. Leave everything.
And leave it. And leave it.
What are you doing, Holmes?
The manual emergency system is behind this trapdoor.
It works. We are safe here.
Yes, there are only a few seconds left before...
My God, what a shock! Moriarty! He was in the warehouse. This time, it's over, Holmes.
The mysterious person whom Moriarty appears to obey.
Whoever could be powerful enough to command Moriarty? The doors are wide open. Perhaps we are too late.
I don't think so.
Don't touch that door! Get back! Damn you, Holmes! Damn you!
So, you survived the explosion.
Professor, put down your gun. I am going to examine your wounds.
Don't come any closer. I don't need a doctor.
It is over, Moriarty. You have failed.
Not entirely. Your death will lessen the defeat. We have failed, Holmes. You and I.
In that case, I cannot imagine that you would refuse to answer the last question of the condemned.
A question? You can ask it of the devil, Holmes.
Is Sheilman immune to his own poison?
What? Don't leave her alone, Holmes. I always tried to do my best for her. Only you are worthy to teach her. Take her.
What should we do next?
No. Closed.